A hoop through in translation, bridge the gap, communication so real, no cap. A different language for woman and man, decode the language and you'll understand. Nah, it'll help you out. Rest assured, women have no doubt. Pillow talk, dinner talk, give you the info to walk the walk. Nah, sometimes it's a foreign language, now know what's up, don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation, empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
Welcome, everyone. It is another Sunday. These weeks are zipping by. We almost like halfway through 2022. Welcome, you guys, to Man Translation. I am Sky C, and this is Dante V, our resident communication and relationship strategist, where we bridge the gap of communication between men and women. Today, we're going to be talking about infidelity and mental illness. We are, bringing mental illness awareness because May is the month for mental illness awareness. And I decided to bring up this subject because, of course, nobody else is talking about it. And I don't think people realize that when you are a pathological liar, it is considered a mental illness. Who knew? Who knew, Dante? Who knew?
A lot of people don't know, but a lot of people won't consider it because in order for you to consider that, you have to look at yourself. No one wants to view themselves as having a mental illness, let alone a pathological liar.
Well, it is. It's considered a personality disorder. It's considered, it's like three categories. You have the narcissistic personality disorder, and then you have the borderline personality disorder. And so you have like all of these categories that it kind of falls into. And I think people, when you're constantly trying to get somebody to tell the truth, and they just keep lying and keep lying and keep lying and keep lying. And that's the thing about it. That to me, that's a cue. When somebody keep lying and you just can't get them to admit the truth, that is something's wrong. Something is deeply, deeply wrong when you cannot get a person to admit the truth. And when you're dealing with infidelity, unfaithfulness, yeah, you can't. They won't tell the truth. They will not do it. That's not normal. So anything out of the norm, anything that is extreme behavior, it falls in the category of a personality disorder. So pathological lying is a symptom of personality disorders. You have antisocial behavior, narcissistic behavior, because these people, I think people don't realize when somebody lies to you, it distorts your perception and your reality.
That's the truth, yes. But in the person's mind who's lying, they're trying to protect and reserve something, whether or not you agree with it or not. Because at the end of the day, they're trying to, one, either keep what they got going or protect their image to a degree, thinking that, okay, let me lie, buy myself some time to fix whatever, so this person doesn't lose the respect or whatever they have for me, and I can fix this situation over here in the process.
That is not a normal way of thinking. That's not a normal way to handle a problem.
It might not be normal, but it's definitely common.
But it's not. That is not the correct way to handle an issue. It's not the correct way to handle a problem. It is, it is very selfish and deceptive in nature, because you can't preserve anything with a lie, because the truth gonna always come out. It might not come out today or tomorrow, but it's going to come out. But I think that people do not realize, because, I watched a couple of these little shows I was telling you before we came on, and the woman, she sit in the car with her husband, and I'm just listening to the conversation, and I'm saying to myself, when I was in that situation, I was doing the same thing. I was trying to get a liar to tell me the truth. A liar is not going to tell you the truth unless it's beneficial to them.
Agree. You could not, and we do this often as people. We expect ourselves out of other people, especially someone that we're involved with. Talking to, married to, significant other, we expect them to do things as we would do them, and that is not the case. They are not us, and we are not them. You literally have to accept them for who they are and where they are. If that person is a liar, don't expect the truth. If that person is a cheater, don't expect them to be faithful. But we want them to, and we'll look for every excuse to justify why we're either still with them or why we're continuously giving them chance after chance after chance.
Because we're not looking at it as a mental disorder. We're not looking at it as a mental illness. I never thought that being a pathological liar that they had a mental problem. You just think they do it, but it's like now that you've been through the situation and you've experienced it and you're looking at it, you're saying, yeah, something's wrong. Something is absolutely wrong, because you're just not going to get a person that's a pathological liar to tell the truth, because they don't gain anything by telling the truth.
Right.
They don't. And in dealing with, infidelity in my own life, eventually I came to the conclusion that people don't need a reason to cheat. They don't need a reason. See,
they just need the opportunity.
You be looking at it like, we got a great relationship, we got a great marriage, or a great whatever we have. We have great bedroom time. We talk to each other. We spend time with each other. And you're not thinking that they're doing anything behind your back, because there's not a reason. And then eventually I was like, it was to the point where I stopped trying to figure it out, because you really can't figure out another human being. And then one day I said, people don't need a reason to cheat. They don't need a reason. Your mind is trying to find a reason. That's why you're being deceived. You're being deceived because you think that there has to be a reason. There does not have to be a reason. It don't. Because people are going to do what they want to do. They're not going to always do what's in the best interest of you. They're going to do what's in the best interest of them. And I was like, as long as you keep thinking he don't have no reason, I'm the total package. He ain't gonna find no better than me. You thinking, oh yeah, this is it right here. What reason he gonna go be with somebody else? He got to be crazy.
It's a bunch of reasons as to why. Because truth be told, and I'm just gonna name a couple of things. One, he could have been out under your league and you settled. So a notch down for you, a notch up for him. So he's okay. So what else can I get?
When you find out that person was unfaithful, your mind is looking for a reason.
Yeah, because again, we look within ourselves for that. Well, what could I have been doing better, or what was wrong? Because it's a self-conscious thing.
But it's a waste of time.
Right? No, it is a waste of time.
It is. It's a waste of time. It doesn't matter what the reason is, because the man is not going to. He's not going to cheat when everything seems like it's fine. That's the time he's going to do it. When everything is fine, y'all are not arguing about anything. He think his home life is good, wifey good, everything good. He got you brainwashed. You good. That's the time he gonna do it, because you're not gonna suspect anything. That's the time. So stop trying to look for a reason. They don't need a reason. It's a waste of time trying to figure out why he cheated, what he see in her. It's a waste of thought processes.
And while I'm thinking about it, for those people who desire closure in some things, not all things require closure.
Men don't give closure. Men don't do closure.
Some of them do, but for the most part, you can look at a person's actions and know their actions will give you the reason why that was your closure.
It don't matter what the reason was. And it was at that point, I ain't trying to figure it out no more. People are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to do what they're going to do. If opportunity presents itself, they grown, they can do whatever they want to do. They're going to do it. They don't need a reason. And, from looking at this situation, she's looking like, what reason would he have to go sleep with somebody else? I don't think that men can really deal with temptation for too long.
I mean, that's just coming down to self-discipline. Honestly, it's really not that hard. But if you got a chink in your armor, if you show any sign of weakness, yeah, it's gonna happen. But again, at the end of the day, what do you really want? You really want this one night stand that can ruin everything you got going on, or you want to strengthen what you already have?
But in this little scenario, this woman, it's like she doesn't really want to know the truth. And some people don't want to know the truth. Some people, some people want to let the man cheat in peace because they don't want to ruin what it is that they have.
They won't let the man cheat in peace because they out there cheating too.
Okay.
No, I've seen it. I've heard it. No, let him do his thing, and I'm gonna be over here doing mine. Like what? Yes.
There's a new sexually transmitted disease out. It's a parasitic. It's a parasitic type sexually transmitted disease, and it causes schizophrenia. It's a parasite. It's a parasite. It's a new sexually transmitted disease out. It is a parasite, and it literally targets your brain, and it causes you to have schizophrenia and some other stuff. I meant to write down the name of it. I think I did write it down somewhere.
That's crazy. We got monkeypox, chickenpox, COVID 1 through 98, and just now we got.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot going on, right? But I just think that we need to. I just feel like if I would have known, like if it was a show out like this when I was married, I would have known all the signs. I don't think I would have been married as long as I was. I think it would have cut my marriage straight short. I'd have been like, you know what? We need to have an annulment because you have a personality disorder. So by law, I can walk away. I could walk away.
Yeah, it's not.
What did you say? What did you say, Dante? Some people we need to unmeet.
Yeah, I definitely wish we could unmeet some people. Just let me get all my anytime life minutes back. Let me get all the conversations that I thought I was getting through to you. Let me get them back. Let me get all that back.
Let's get all of that back, cause honey, I got a list of people I would love to unmeet.
The entire, yes, because
it was just it's really unfortunate to see, because when people are unfaithful, it messes with your self-esteem. Your trust is broken. It really affects your confidence, and you have feelings of abandonment, rejection. It's very detrimental. It's very detrimental to people. And so I think that it would really be a good thing for people to really recognize, because people can't even tell when people are lying these days.
Because they don't have a straight face. I had a we're gonna protect the innocent, if you will. I had a whole woman crawl in my chest, snot bubble, just shirt drinks, and she was lying the whole damn time. The entire time. It's like anyone else would have just took that, but it's like, really? Straight face, just eyes red. It's like you really put on a whole Academy Award performance.
I call them fantastic lies.
They're fantastical lies.
Fantastic lies. Because, and that's what it is. Like, they be over dramatic. A lot of times when people are lying, the stories they got these long, stories with part 1 through 55, and they're just.
But see, what had happened was,
On and on and on and on is what happened. And also, when people be lying, they contradict themselves. Their stories are very contradictory. Every time they tell a story, it don't sound the same. Like the last time. Well, the last time you said it was blue, and you was in Tennessee. Now you saying you was is it's Wyoming, and you had on a blue suit. Now the last time you said something different
See, what
because
happened was, I be stressed out when I be telling these stories. So, I wasn't sure. I probably got, mixed up or whatever. But I'm pretty sure it was a blue. Yeah, it's gonna be excuse after excuse, and they ready with it too. Ready.
I think right now at this age that I am in and the phase of my life that I'm in, I don't even think I would even really entertain an answer. I don't even think I would want to answer. I wouldn't even want to know. I wouldn't even want to hear it. Like once I found out, it's not even a conversation. Like I wouldn't even give it no breath, no wind, no nothing. Like I don't even want to give you the opportunity to even tell me a lie or a fantastic story. I just don't even want to hear it. You got it. That's what you want to do. Deuces. I'm out. And then I'll pick up the pieces of my life later. But I'm just not going to give you the opportunity. And I think that's what it is. We stay in the relationships and we give people the opportunity to further lie to us. Further.
Because it's about acceptance. They don't want to accept the fact that this person would do this to us. Again, this is why we look within ourselves. It's like, well, what did I do wrong? What did I say, or wherever the case may be? And it's like, okay, well, I'm fine. So why would he do this to me? Because a lot of times, again, you've been in relationships for a while, you're emotionally invested, and you're just like you said, there's no reason for you to do what you did. So what happened? So now you're asking yourself these questions. You want, well, what happened in this? And again, like you said, giving them the opportunity to further lie to you.
But this is why people are not, you know, when your trust is broken, it's not broken just with that person. It's
No, it's
broken
everybody.
with every single person that comes in your life
Hmm.
after that person. Like your trust is broken, until you do the work to fix it. And how are you going to do the work to fix it? Because trust is something that you give, even though if you earn it, I still got to give it to you. And so how are you going to restore, trust if you continually listen to somebody just tell you lies? And the whole world, they watch this little show because they kind of drew you in for one thing, and this now is just all drama. The reason that they started the thing, they don't even talk about the stuff no more. Everything is about cheating in marriage and who slept with who and side chicks or whatever. But it's really sad to see this woman sit there and really want this man to tell her the truth, because we have invested in each other. We have a family, we have a business, and you are willing to throw all of that away and to hold on to this lie because you want to, have this marriage as a front and then have your side stuff, at the same time. And you can see that she really loves her husband, and rightfully so.
Hmm.
Rightfully so. But your husband is not living in a reality. And you can see the guilt written all over him that he really wants to tell the truth, but he already know what the fallout is going to be.
Yeah.
Like I said, when he said, bring me proof and receipts, to me, you already told on yourself. Because when I bought my ex proof and receipts, he crumbled like a cookie, wanted to kill himself, wanted me
Let
to
me,
kill him. And
no, hold on. Let me back it up real quick because I'm gonna give you both sides. Both sides. Because one, I see what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from as far as receipts go, and because I've been in that predicament where it's like I'm being accused left and right. So it's like, what proof do you have? People keep coming to you saying,
bam,
"Hey,
that go to
do you
proof.
have?"
Bam, that go to proof.
Okay, no, we're gonna get there. But it's like if you don't have anything because you just going off these accusations because you think something. What proof do you have? Show me something.
But see, I don't accuse you if I don't have proof. I don't make accusations. When I come to you to have the conversation, I'm gonna have the proof and the receipts.
We're gonna get there in a minute. But most people in this day and age, because they believe, the girlfriend or the homie, other than what's actually being said. So it's like, yeah, she saw you with such and such, and she was with her. It's like, I was at work the entire time. So yeah, what proof do you have? Now, granted, his personal excuse was BS as far as you don't know what his back looked like. We're gonna get to that a little later. But when you do have the undeniable proof, the text messages, the pictures, whatever, you put them in a corner. So therefore, they react. They don't make it about the situation because they're caught in the situation. They make it about themselves. You could just, there's a lot going on. You could just kill me now. It's something overly dramatic that takes your mind, all whatever you were talking about before, we're going to completely digress and go here. Because you still love me, you still care about me. So when I take you to this place, you're probably going to go with me.
But see, when somebody says, you still love me, they're trying to keep you in an emotional space. Yes. They want you to stay in an emotional space. This is not about how I feel about you. This has nothing to do with how I feel about you. This has to do with your behavior and the things that you are doing and the things that I found out that you were doing. And so I just think that we stay in these relationships and we give people opportunities. To me, when you asking a man or whoever for closure, you're just asking to be lied to some more, period. That's it.
I mean, anytime you ask someone a question, you open that door to opportunity because you still haven't accept them. You see the red flag, you don't accept the red flag. You make an excuse for the red flag, and we just kind of put it off to the corner. And then once you get out of said situation, you start looking at the red flags again that you put away.
But this is the thing: even if he say, "Yeah, I met somebody, and I feel so and so way about the person." What are you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
You go. I know. You gonna ask a whole bunch of questions again. When men in these situations do not like answering those types of questions, women think that out way beforehand. Men do not. Men are not good freestylers at all. So you ask the questions, well, what has she got that I don't got? You got the comparison thing going on, and you might get an answer. He might just walk off.
I will not ever ask anybody that question.
No,
I will not ever ask anybody what does she have that I don't have. My point that I'm trying to make is that if he does be honest with you and he tell you that he want to be with somebody else, there is nothing you can do about it. That's my point. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't nobody care about all them questions you ask him. He's already done it. He's not thinking about doing it. She ain't thinking about doing it. She's already in the act of doing it. There's nothing you're going to say or do that's going to change their mind. What are you asking questions for? Go in the closet, get that suitcase, throw them clothes in there, grab them kids, hop in that car, get them keys, and get the pushing. It's moot. For what?
They're not there. They're
for
not
what?
There. People want answers.
We're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you there on this show. I'm here to tell you, it's not going to make any difference. It's not.
But you also have to understand that. I mean, unfortunately, most people aren't willing or ready to just do that. By you standing there,
I wasn't ready. When is somebody gonna ever be ready? It's not about being ready.
No, again,
it's not about
for some people.
Ready ain't got nothing. Ready don't have nothing to do with it.
I agree. But again, people are in the situation and they're living in a house with someone that they're just number two to. Because they don't have the financial means. It's just excuse after excuse after excuse as to why they can't leave this particular person and or this situation.
When I left, I ain't had nothing. I had nothing. Absolutely nothing. I didn't have money. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. To me, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not going to continue to sit here and let you walk all up one side of me and down another side of me. It's nothing I can do to change it. You've already made your decision. Now I have to make some decisions. Okay, if I sat down and talk to you and I see that you're not trying to make any type of effort, then it's like, no, okay, I need to put a plan together. So I didn't have anything, nothing. I went back to Philadelphia with 3 children with absolutely nothing. Nothing. And it took me 9 months, almost a year to find a job. It took me a long time to find a job. So that is, what is that? A more waste of time. Sitting down trying to talk to somebody and get some questions answered for some closure, it's a waste of time. You're asking, and that's why I wanted to talk about this on the show, because you're expecting for a liar to tell you the truth. It's not going to happen.
Not at all.
It's not going to happen.
Not at all.
It is not. They are a liar. They are cheaters.
First you have to accept and see that they are that. Because if you can't accept it, if you can't see it, you won't accept it. If you keep making excuses for it and you're not open to that, then you're basically doing this at your own detriment.
I don't know. I guess for me, like at the time, like right now, if I was in this present time, like for this young lady, she could hire a private investigator. Private investigator will tell you who back that was, because he gonna have a picture of you with the woman in the, because they probably went to dinner. They gonna have pictures of that. They just gonna follow them around, and you just gonna get to see everything. You know what I mean? So at that point, once you see it with your own 2 eyes, it really, to me, it wasn't nothing to talk about. It wasn't nothing that I was going to go. It wasn't a question I was going to go ask. Not one. It wasn't nothing. When I first found out, we went to therapy only because he was in the military. Other than that, after that, it just dawned on me that you're dealing with somebody who is not who you thought they were. See, and this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to say. The truth will put you you'll be in the right frame of mind. When you operating in truth, everything is clear. When you operate in a lie, it's deception. So you're not gonna be able to see anything. So if you want the truth, you'll get the truth. If you want to be deceived, you will continue to deceive yourself, because nobody can really deceive you unless you deceive yourself. Making all those excuses and, making excuses for them and justifying it, you're just lying to yourself. They done already showed you who they are. Mm-hmm. Right? They've already showed you who they are by their behavior. You now got to receive the truth of what you're seeing with your own 2 eyes. Now it comes up and accept it. Now it comes up to you to not want to deceive yourself anymore, because the lie creates an alternative perception. The lie creates an alternative reality. Now that you see the truth with your own eyes, you can no longer say, oh, it's not what it is. You know how the saying goes, if it quack like a duck, walk like a duck, it's a duck. You can't say, oh no, there's not a duck. Yes, it is a duck.
And the issue with that is, maybe you don't know what a duck is. You sitting there calling the damn pigeon. It ain't a pigeon. It's a duck. Here's what a duck looks like.
They call it a pigeon. And that's what it is. So a lot of times when we always put the blame on the other person that cheated, but we have to take a certain level of accountability too.
You do.
We have to take a certain level of accountability as well.
You are only accountable for you.
Yeah, for you.
You have cause, you have effect. You can only deal with one or the other. You can't deal with both, because you don't know what that person's mental.
Cause see, they hiding. They hiding. They sneaking behind your back. They doing things behind your back. So Once that truth comes to, and see, for me, once one truth came, everything just all the truth just start coming.
Yeah, because you were willing to seek the truth. So once you open up that door, it's like, what else is there?
What else is there?
And then, of course, the floodgates open. It's like, oh my gosh! And even the stuff that was ignored in the past, that hey, well, here they come to. Come on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the truth, it just starts. Everything starts coming out. Because I think in the beginning, because things are going well in the relationship, or you believe that things are going well in the relationship, you're not aware. You're not paying attention because you don't think anything's wrong. You don't think anything's wrong. You think, oh, okay, we have great communication. We got great bedroom time. We have a great family. We look good together. He good. I'm good. He's smart. I'm smart. You know what I'm saying? I'm good looking. My mama good looking. Everybody, we got it going on. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the picture says. That's what the picture looks like. The picture that's being painted, that's what the picture looks like. But yeah, pull the picture off the wall. It's a big hole back there.
Now some stuff missing. You got people duct taped in the back and so on and so forth. The picture done folded the hell over. You open it up, there's more stuff in there. Where all this come from?
Yeah, I just, and I think that we can't. I think we just can't no longer just deceive ourselves and allow ourselves to continuously just to be deceived. I just couldn't. It was just such. Once the truth came out, it was just such a waste of time. It was because they'll keep on lying year after 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 year. And you be thinking everything's fine. And everything is not fine.
Everything is not fine.
Everything is not fine. And then you find out that this is literally a personality disorder. This is a mental issue. Lying and deception and cheating. And it's just like people doing so much stuff, all of these different diseases and new diseases and things popping up that we never even heard of. This is not the time to be in a relationship with a liar or a cheater. Because they're not only just playing with their life, they're playing with your life too.
No, you're right. But again, it's not viewed that way. Because whatever they're trying to gain is more important than all of that in their mind. I'm saying
But what are they? What are you gaining?
It could be somebody on the side. Could be somebody filling the void. Whatever that person's thinking at that point in time as to why they need to bring someone in rather than just dealing with or trying to fix what's missing with that other person, significant other. It's always a greater
it's
picture
really
than someone's
interesting
mind.
because to me, everybody is affected, especially the children. There's too many single women raising children by themselves. You know how difficult it is to raise children alone with no support system. And then dude got all these issues and he's not gonna go get any help for those issues because he don't think lying is even a problem. How would you not think that being a liar is not a problem? How did you get your mind to twist around that way?
Oh, that's very simple.
Oh my God. How is that simple, Dante?
It's simply just off the strength of their image. Their image to other people is one thing, but what you're finding out is something different. So other people don't see him or her as a liar, a cheater, or an abusive person. But the things you're going through, the moment you speak out about it, okay, here's an issue because yeah, we don't even view it. He never even got upset around us. Oh, he's an upstanding person. He's in charge of the budget, the trust, all this other stuff. So it's easier to lie just to protect your image. And that's exactly what it comes down to in some cases. They're lying to protect their image, but you have the truth over here, or so you think, until you actually come up with that hardcore, hey, here's what I got you doing. Now what we're gonna do?
But it not only does it leave the relationship broken, but it leaves the people broken. It leaves the woman broken, and the children are broken and abandoned. Do you know how many children blame themselves for the breakup of their whether it don't matter whether you're married or not married, children blame themselves for the breakup of the relationship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and I think that they don't realize that when you don't have a relationship with the mother, um, you still have to foster a relationship with your child because it's the worst thing in the world to grow up feeling abandoned and rejected by the person that's supposed to love and respect you and accept you. And people take those abandonment issues and those rejected issues, that follows them throughout every relationship that they
Mm-hmm.
have. They don't ever get rid of that. People right now in relationships with abandonment issues. It's one couple that pops up on social media, and you can see that this girl is so thirsty and needy and just clingy, like all over this person. It's almost like you are so starved for attention. The person can't even get up and go to the bathroom without you saying, "Where you going?" Like a relationship can't sustain that type of when somebody just almost is like a leech, like you're so codependent because you haven't dealt with your abandonment issues. You have not dealt with the fact that you were rejected or you felt rejected by your mother or your father or whoever you felt rejected by, or whatever relationship you were in and didn't work. Like this abandonment and rejection, it runs deep. So when
Yes.
you're in a relationship and somebody lie and go behind your back and do things, like it's a lot of work that has to go into that once you become single and you're by yourself. Like, and some people, they never recover.
Mm. No, they don't, because they don't recover because it was never dealt with. It just gets suppressed, and then when they get older, it's like, well, I haven't dealt with it in so long. But then those triggers come up, and now it's an issue. Now it's a problem. Now they got to go back and dig to where this was. And again, like you said, children are innocent in all this.
But the relationships are so toxic. The
Mhm.
relationships are toxic to the point that the relationships don't even work after that. So I think that you can't just, like, it has to be some level of accountability. You can't just go around. It's just amazing to me how people get married and they make a vow, right? They make a vow that they will forsake all others and they will be faithful to that one person, and then they break that vow. But yet you still want to be married, but you done broke your vows. When you break that vow, it also creates division because you're living a different life. You're projecting one life, but you're living a totally different life that I
Mhm.
don't know anything about. That's division. That's a form of division. So just because I haven't found out, or I don't have any proof yet, or I don't have any receipts yet, we're still divided. We're divided because you got a whole nother woman and allegedly a child.
Mm.
You can't get no more division than that.
Mm. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You cannot, because what? It
That's
really comes down.
devastating. That is
No, it
devastating.
is.
So, you know, understanding that pathological lying and cheating is a form of mental illness, like, it needs to be talked about.
No, it does, and it also needs to be dealt with. But before we do all of that, again, I keep saying it because it has to be recognized. It has to be addressed at that point in time. No excuses being made for it. Just here's what it is. Do not make excuses for it. You making excuses for someone else's behavior allows them to keep doing what they've been doing.
To keep us, and that's the
Especially
point. Exactly. It allows them to keep doing what they're doing. It allows them to keep doing it. And when you
right.
find out that they did it, don't be asking a whole bunch of questions.
And that's the that's the whole behavioral science of it all, because our natural instinct is to ask those questions, because this is happening. You did this to me.
No,
It's
it's
not
not.
about the kid. No, but that's again the psychological of it. Yeah, you did. From the back standpoint, you did this to yourself. Because I'm not. I gotta go. You worked that out with you. I gotta go. But from when it happens, like you said before, you got the fight, flight, or you paralyzed. In situations like this, most people they're angry, so they start asking questions as far as how can you do this to me? What did I do? How could I have been a better woman? Or how could I have done this? How could I have done that? They ask all these questions because they think it's something within them. Rather than, let me back up. No, you cheated because there's a character flaw within you. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I did everything I was supposed to do as the spouse or boyfriend or whoever I am to you. I did everything that I could.
Yep.
Now, granted, I'm not saying that that other person is perfect in the situation, because again,
Right.
everything there's always something that needs to be worked on to some degree, and we get
Yeah.
that. But is it that bad that we could talk about it, that we can work this out? You just went off and just did what you did.
And it's just that cut and dry. Because for me, this happened to me 3 times in the same with the same person. So the first time, you're devastated. You ask the questions, and then when it happens the second time, you be like, okay, you just made all these promises and this and that. And you ain't gonna do it again, and please don't leave, and please, please, please. And now here we go, the third go around, and you're just looking at it like, yeah, it's time to go. It's like it's time to
Yeah.
go. Because at that moment you're thinking, I don't wasted enough time, because that's ultimately what you're losing. Besides trust and abandonment and all that, rejection, you're losing time. You're losing time, and you're just thinking, you know what, it's time to go. At this point now, it's just time to go, because now if I have a conversation with you, what conversation do we have after you've done this for the third time?
That's the well one.
There's no conversation to be had.
No, it's not. But again, like I said before, that's not what's being viewed.
There's no
I'm
trust.
wholeheartedly,
I
I'm
don't
wholeheartedly
trust
with you
you.
on this.
I don't respect you, have no respect for you. I don't trust you. And you have to have love, trust, and respect. Those are your foundation. Love is the glue that keeps it all together. But
Can we
what is
add?
it going to keep together when you ain't got no floor or
Can we?
walls?
Can we add? Can we add like in there too? Like is important.
Ain't no light. See,
Yeah,
the
like is important.
lies keep you in darkness. It's the truth that give you the light. The truth is what brings the light. The
No, no, no.
lies
I said
keep
like.
you in the dark.
I said like. Like. Yeah, I think like is important in
It's no
relationships.
like. It's no like.
It
It's no
should be.
like. It's no like. And the reason, I'm talking about myself now. The reason it was no like was because it wasn't what you did. It was the way you did it.
Yeah.
It was the way you did it. You did it so dirty. You was so dirty with it. You was low down and dirty with it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like that sucked all the like out. That took the like. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing for somebody to cheat. It's another thing for them to bring them to your house in your bed and cheat in your house. You brought her to my house. You slept with her in my bed in front of my children. There's no like. That's low down. That's dirty. That's intentional.
Yeah.
That's dirty. So for me, it wasn't just that you cheated. It was the way you did it. You was dirty with it. and you were so low down and dirty with it that even my neighbors was like, we gotta tell her. Like, how we gonna tell her? We don't even know her. We can't have this conversation with her. They didn't even have to, it wasn't a whole lot that needed to be said because I ain't stupid. You know what I mean? And so it's like a lot of times I was watching Michelle Lay Surviving Compton. Drake beat her like she was a man. And she stayed because of the lifestyle. I mean, he beat her like she was a man. Hello, beautiful. So it's just like, low down and dirty. Low down and dirty.
And yeah, absolutely.
And I just want women to realize. I just want you to just think about it. I just want you to just just be aware and pay attention and just think about it. Just think about every time you had a conversation, what kind of answers are you getting? It's a possibility, and probably a very strong possibility, that you're dealing with somebody that has a mental illness. We're still talking about mental health awareness, and we're talking about infidelity and mental illness, because it is pathological lying is a personality disorder. And are you in a relationship just begging for please tell me the truth? Can you please just tell me the truth, please?
Do not do that. Do not do that at all. Do not beg at all. Okay, let's get this understood. We hear you. As men, we hear you. You are choosing to be ignored. Men have this thing. We are smarter than what we portray. And I tell some women this because they just don't understand. They'll say, my son is a genius. He's smart. When I tell him to go to the grocery store or take the trash out or wash the dishes, it's like, he's not all there. I said, listen, here's what he's doing, right? Because he's smart. He knows it. He's half-assing it so he doesn't have to keep doing it. Yeah. He heard you the first time. You went there and you showed them exactly how you wanted things done. Okay. Same thing that happens in school. They show you, okay, here's how to do it. You apply the steps. Again, we hear you. You're just chosen. We're ignoring you. And the more and more you ask, the more and more you get ignored. It's not until we actually need and or want something. Oh, you've been asking about that whole roof thing for a year. Now I'm about the roof fixed now because he wants something.
I've been there too.
Oh man,
I've been there too. She said, I know sometimes people tend to check out mentally, but still in the relationship physically, because some people just don't know how to get out of that bad situation. I've been there. I mean, I didn't really know how to get out either, but I just knew that it was just enough. It was like I said, he was cruel. He was very cruel. And then it got to the point where by the time it got to like the second time, I just don't understand how you beg somebody to stay with you and then you turn around and you get worse. Because I think what happens is that when you take somebody back after they cheat, then you give them carte blanche. They're not going to get better. It's like you gave them carte blanche now to do whatever it is they want to do. And that's exactly what he did. It's exactly what he did. Now it's like he knows it's all out in the open, and he turned right around. And it's the same thing.
It's just like children. Just like children. We all, to some degree, we've dealt with a child. And oh no, mommy, daddy, I'm not gonna do it again. I promise, so on and so forth. And once you allow them to, okay, all right, fine, I'll forgive them. And if there's that adventurous, mischievous child, this is gonna happen again. It's just a matter of time. They just now know to what magnitude they need to either apologize or change their ways briefly to go back and do what they did before.
But for a child is not an adult. A child is in a development stage. They haven't learned self-control yet. They haven't learned, temperance yet. They have not learned, they're still learning. They're still being nurtured. They're still being taught patience and nurturance, and they're still being taught those things. So a child, we don't expect for a child to act like an adult. We're talking about an adult that's acting like a child.
No, and that's where I'm going to stop you at, because again, although these adults claim they're adults, they're not. They're still mentally children, which is why they keep playing the games that children play. So yeah, full grown, yeah, you're able to go out here and drink, buy cigarettes, and do adult stuff, but mentally, where are you?
And that's why we talking about this, because mentally they are still stuck at the age of their trauma, but you're in a relationship with them and you don't know that. You don't know anything about trauma. When I was married, I didn't know anything about trauma and narcissistic abuse and, reactive abuse and, histrionic personality. And I didn't know anything about any of that. You just think that you're married to this person, and now one day they're one way, the next day they're a different way. They're totally different person. So you don't know anything about all of that. That's why these conversations have to be had. That's why we can't continue to have men versus women. We both need to be having communication and understanding with each other. This is not man versus woman. This is us listening, hearing, active listening and responding, so that we can make a change. Because if we don't get this right, we're not going to make an impact in our communities. We're still going to continue to be divided. Because if you're divided at home, you're going to be divided everywhere you go. And so that's why these conversations are really important to have. They're hard conversations, but they're very necessary conversations that we need to be having. That a lot of so-called adults are in adult bodies, but they're still stuck at the age of their trauma. And so we're not dealing with full-grown adults. We're dealing with people that's children, because they need healing. They need healing. And nobody is stopping and saying, hey, listen, something isn't right. I just had a conversation with a grown man. I had this conversation, and I could literally see, and I told him, I said, you have a broken heart. I could see it clear as day. It was clear as day. And he tried to laugh it off, but it was like one of those little nervous laughs, like, "Oh, I think she about on to something."
Or you're right, but I didn't think nobody would see that.
Yeah, I'm like, your heart is broken, like completely broken. You know what I mean? And so it's a lot of people walking around with broken hearts. Like she said, they've mentally checked out, but they still physically. How miserable is that? I've been there too. It's very miserable.
To just exist in a relationship, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Especially, it's even more difficult if you know the other person is mentally checked out. Ain't nothing you can do about
it. Because it goes back to, and again, I'm talking about myself. It was a point that, I had to, number one, I had to pay attention and become aware. But when the truth presented itself, I just accepted it. And was it devastating? Absolutely. Absolutely. I was my own private detective to this day. It's been over 20 years ago. To this day, he does not know how I found out.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
He don't know. He does not know.
This is before internet. What?
Well, see, the thing is that when I worked as directory assistant, we had to cross-reference information. If you get somebody's license plate, you can cross-reference the information to get the address. You could do that. Well, yeah, it wasn't no internet back then. Here we go, telling my age again. Was no internet back then. But because I used to work for directory assistants, we know how to cross-reference information. And, just getting the license plate and cross-referencing the information. You cross-reference it, you get the name. Once you get the name, then you get the address. He does not know to this day that I sat outside their house and watched him pull up in that woman's car and both of them get out and go in her house. To this day, he never knows how I found out. I didn't go through any of his personal things. I didn't violate any of his personal space. You know what I'm saying? I just paid attention. And, like I said, when you are complicit, when you keep wanting somebody that is a liar to tell you the truth, they're not going to do it. And if they do tell you the truth, it's really over. It's really
it's either over or the controlling aspect now like goes like 10 times power because they know they feel as though, all right, so now that I told you this, they're probably again, you're probably in a position where so you have to solely depend on them. Where you gonna go? What you gonna do? Who you
I
gonna
told him I told him I was leaving. I said I'm leaving. He didn't believe me till one day he came home and I was gone. I said I'm leaving. I'm not. This ain't. Nope. I'm leaving. And I sat down and I formulated a plan. I came up with a plan and went back home and was doing very well. Started out with nothing, no job, no nothing, and was doing very well. Had saved a whole lot of money and everything. Was doing fine because Maryland is the cost of living is high.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
No, but I'm only here because it's slightly cheaper. That is it.
I was in Oxford Hill, so I'm right there. If I sneeze, and you can really be in Oxford Hill and go across the street and be in DC. Walk across the street, you're in DC. Walk back across the street, you're in Maryland. So I was like, man, I can take this money and go home and be doing very well with at the time $1,000 a month. And that's what I did. Went home.
You can get a closet for that now.
Exactly.
You get a whole closet here in Baltimore.
Went home, save that money, and eventually found me a job. So, yeah, I understand when you don't have nothing. But see, the thing is, I'm not going to be in a shell of a relationship. I'm not going to be in a relationship mentally and and I'm someplace else and want to be with some, I don't even just have time to be playing like that. I was deceived. I was totally deceived. And I refuse to continue to deceive myself. I'm not just going to keep giving you an opportunity to lie to me. I ain't going to ask you nothing. You want to go? There go the door. And by the time the third time came, that's where I was. Because see, the second time, you see that they're intentionally trying to hurt you. I was like, oh, you're just trying to do this. And okay, I got you. All right, got you. So by the time that he did it the third time, I wasn't paying him no attention. Oh, you want to go over there? Bye. There go the door. You want the rest of your stuff? There it is. There you go. All control has now been broken. No more control. Because you're not going to keep playing me, and I'm sure not going to keep playing myself. You want to stay out all night? You're grown, and that's what it is, And a lot of people, I don't know. I guess I could relate to a lot of things that Jada be saying. People thought they had an open marriage because she was like, he grown. Like, what can you do? You can't make a grown man do nothing. You can't make anybody do anything.
No.
If that's what they want to do, that's what they're gonna do. Stop trying to find a reason why they did what they did. They did it because they wanted to do it, point blank and period. You don't need no more explanation than that. I don't need no details. You grown. That's what you did. That's what you wanted to do. Cool. I'm getting ready to do some stuff too. Like leave. You made some decisions. Now it's time for me to make some decisions. I ain't gonna ask you nothing. I ain't had nothing else to say. That was it. I'm done. It's done. Done for done. You know what I mean? So at the time, I didn't realize that he had a personality disorder.
Yeah, a lot of stuff wasn't talked about back then. A lot of stuff wasn't known back then.
Yeah.
But it's here now, and we talking about it. Crazy son.
But the thing is that remember you asked me, you said, does lying? What did you say? Does lying get
lying hereditary?
I believe it is. I do. I believe that it is because everything operates on a genetic level. Your genes are encoded. That's what your genes do. They're encoded. And your cells carry out whatever is in those codes. That's why this conversation is important because your children are watching. They're watching him. They're watching him be unfaithful. They're watching, and it tore our family to pieces. And I thought everything was fine. I thought you guys were good. I thought that I was teaching y'all and helping y'all and making sure y'all knew the truth about things and making sure we went to church and were serving God, and I was setting a good example for you. They got more than one parent. They have two parents. They're not just looking at you, they're looking at you and him. And they learning information from the both of y'all. And I didn't even find out until my children became teenagers that because I was telling them one thing and the dad was telling them something different, it kept them confused. And when you're confused, you can't do nothing. When you're confused, when you don't have clarity, you're totally paralyzed.
Yeah, I was about to say you're totally paralyzed. You don't know what to do. Confusion
Yep.
set in. You know somebody lying.
Yeah.
But you don't want to accept the fact that it's one of your parents.
Yeah.
So I know for me, it was like, all right, I'm gonna just push you away from both y'all, and I'm gonna do my own thing and just figure it out because you literally do not know, and that is difficult.
Yes, they watch everything. They really do. And it's like people think because, they might be 5 or 4 or 7. They might not understand at that age, but when they get older, they're going to be like, oh, okay, that's what they was doing. Like when I was smoking weed, y'all were little. By the time I think Divine was like maybe 7 or 8, I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to stop smoking weed now because he gonna start putting 2 and 2 together. As they get older, children start to connect the dots. Okay, because you can't tell your children, oh no, don't smoke weed. They're gonna be like, you was over there smoking weed, had trees coming out your ear. You ain't gonna tell me not what to not, because they're not gonna do what you tell them to do. They're gonna do what they see you do. So it's some things that you got to keep to yourself. Some things you can't tell your children. My ex-husband was the one who outed me. Oh, your mom was a pothead. First of all, I wasn't a pothead. First of all, you're gonna tell my story, tell it the right way. Okay. I was not a pothead. I was a recreational weed smoker. Okay. I smoked on the weekends, not the weekday, because I worked at the federal government. Okay. But anyway, don't tell my story wrong. So I had to stop smoking weed because children, they watch everything that you do, and they're gonna put that stuff together. They're gonna connect them dots when they get a little bit older. Well, mama, I saw you do this, and daddy did that. Mm-hmm. That's why he don't want to take those children with him when he go places.
Right.
When it's his turn, he gonna leave them kids at his mama house, his somebody auntie cousin. He ain't taking them children with him.
Yeah, because one, I don't want you seeing what I'm doing, and two, if I do bring you with me, that limits what I can do because kids, again, they see everything, and that also runs the risk of them going back and telling their mom, and she damn sure ain't gonna have that.
Exactly. So I think that we it's 8 o'clock. I think we had this was a good conversation. How you pronounce her name? Michelle, Miss Randolph, Miss Tony. Thank you so much for participating. It is so true. It's so true. We just have to be mindful, and we have to be aware, because emotional intelligence is also a part of it. Is social awareness. It's not just you being aware of yourself, but it's you being aware of the environment that you're in and how you are affecting, what is your footprint? How are you affecting and impacting everything around you? And I think people sometimes take that for granted, especially when it comes to their children. It is just way too many single mothers raising these children by themselves because men are not getting the help that they need. We need to hear from the men. We need them to step up to the plate. We need them to be in their rightful place and in their rightful position, but we need them to be in their right mind.
Yes.
So go ahead, close this out, Dante.
Whew, man. All right. So we're gonna talk about real quickly. We're gonna talk about the red flags that keep getting pushed aside. If you see them, address them because them red flags just gonna keep getting bolder and bolder and bigger. Okay, listen. This ain't Six Flags. This is not an amusement park. Just deal with it. Get it out the way. Um, yeah, because they be having Six Flags just up. Like, no, this is a warning. This isn't fun and entertainment. No, just no. I understand that some people are in these relationships not necessarily for themselves, but to get away from themselves. But you're only causing more damage to yourself
Yeah.
by taking on that negativity that they're giving you and trying to project that and still one be mentally sane and capable and also trying to be a mother and take care of children that they're picking up on. Like kids pick up on it, even if they're young, they still feel it. As a parent, you feel like okay, on the outside I got everything together, but your spirit is screaming. Your soul is talking, and your kids will pick up on that because they are part of you. And to the ones who don't have it, you have to pay attention to exactly what's happening. Do you really want to be with somebody that bad that you're willing to allow this to keep happening over and over and over again? What is more important, you or the lies that you keep receiving from this other person? The behavior that, oh, hey, I love you, I care about you, yet I'm doing everything against you.
Yeah.
That's tearing down your self-esteem. That's tearing down your mental eventually. And then you're not even important enough to get the truth of that person. The truth is free. If you, I mean, granted, I know the government lies to us on a consistent basis, but perjury is the thing. You can go to jail for lying to the government. Again, bear with me on this one. But yet, you just passing out them lies at like it's just like this card game, just spades. Here you go, lie for you, lie for you, lie for you, lie for you. All right, what's your hand look like? No,
Yeah.
you are better than that. You don't have to accept that. You're not required to accept that. If you gotta go, go. You are going to bounce back from this. It might not look good in the beginning, but in the end, know your worth, and you're not worth someone's lies and negativity.
Nope.
That's not why you're here. That's not even how you were raised.
Nope.
And that's not what you would want for your own children.
Nope.
So it starts with you. It starts and it ends with you. Because what you allow is what your children are going to pick up, is what they're going to continue to do to you until you're actually able to get out of what you're in.
That's it. We love you guys. We'll see you next Sunday. Like and share. Like and share.